And 72% of the time the market goes up. And the answer came to me. And that's what I developed my chart. The answer came to me is because, just like Caterpillar, when they pull their money out, you get out. Whoa.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Network.
Oh, God. Are you nuts?
With your host, Phil Grande.
Bye. Welcome to my podcast. Okay. So, we had this big surprise. And what was it? Well, Trump was going to bomb the hell out of Iran because of the helicopter. The drone whacked one of our helicopters. Thank God they didn't get killed, the pilots. And so he said, hey, we're going to attack the hell out of them. We're going to have a big, beautiful attack. Well, it didn't happen. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, how many times, okay, is he going to continue? Okay, we got a deal, we haven't got a deal. 39 times, I guess, is what they're talking about right now. 39 times he's been on and off with these deals. This is crazy. This is number 39. This is nuts. So again, because he stopped that bombing on Thursday, everybody got excited, and the yields dropped. And that's what people want, right? Because when you have your yields drop, everybody's in these tech stocks, and tech stocks go up. So that's a good thing, right? But not really, because this alert that we're in right now, okay, this rally that we're in right now is not going to work. There's no volume in it. You got to have at least that 1,000-point rally we had yesterday. You had to have at least 8 to 9 billion to support a rally like that. If you have a 1,000-point rally, you've got to have that kind of volume. You can't have. We had average volume about 5 billion. That's average a day, but that's not good enough. You got to have at least 7 to 9 billion if you have a 1,000-point rally. So it didn't happen. So the run rate is short. So it can't be justified. But people don't care. They're just in there buying stocks like crazy. Tech stocks again today. So nothing worse than having a rally on light volume. Are you kidding me? That's one of the biggest red flags you can ever have when you're trading stocks. You see something like that happen. It tells you that the rally is built on air. It tells you there's no buyers around. It's short covering. People who are shorting bought their own shares back. But the buyers we're looking for are the institutions. We need the institutional money. Now, they poured a lot of money into the 4 biggest stocks that are holding up this whole stock market, holding up 700 stocks, 4 stocks. 4 stocks are actually holding up 700 stocks. And those stocks, again, are the companies that make the machines that make chips. So, again, they're doing well. In fact, we had that 1,000-point drop. Those stocks hardly even went down. So I mean, those are very strong stocks. But what my point is, this whole rally is built on air. This can drop 1,000 points so quick. This is what people don't understand. This rally can collapse and go down twice, 3 times faster than it came up. But Wall Street's not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. The jibber jabbers on TV, you think they're going to tell you that? No, of course not. It's not in their best interest to tell you that. So remember, the other thing about short covering rallies, when they unfold, unwind, they're vicious, they're violent. I mean, they just collapse. Like there's nothing underneath it. Like, when's it going to stop? But for now, today, everybody's happy. The Dow's up. The S&P's up. Remember why the S&P's up. People forget to understand. The S&P is driven by tech stocks. If you go look at a symbol, XLK, that's where all those stocks that are inside that symbol, that's what holds up the S&P. So if you're playing the S&P or you're trading the S&P, you should always trade or watch XLK. It'll always tell you if your S&P is going to go up or down. But anyways, back to this. So again, this thing can collapse. That's my whole point. And nobody's taking it serious. They think, oh, everybody's yawning. Oh, just another beautiful, beautiful rally. Well, it's not a beautiful rally. It's like taking a very tiny string and put it across the Grand Canyon and try to go across the Grand Canyon on this tiny string with no parachutes. That's where we are right now with this rally. But nobody wants to believe it. No one wants to believe it. That's why you got to learn how to sell short. So the volume is telling you everything. Okay, it's telling you everything. So I know that people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. And the other thing, when he came out with that announcement, I was so frustrated because they said, wait a minute, we just had another silly announcement. It was just BS, the jobs number. Remember the jobs number, 300,000 jobs? What a bunch of garbage that. Those were the most beautiful, wonderful, best jobs in the world. We're on fire. You have that cut?
The average 401k is up almost $30,000 since I took office.
Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. That's a bunch of BS. You got to unpack that. You got to look inside that. No. And I talked about it last week when he said that. So again, the 401ks are not up $30,000 or $23,000. No way, they're not up. Now, here's what happens. The number gets distorted because what they do, he has the BLS take a handful of the wealthy households that have in their 401k 1 to 3 million. That's what he uses. That's what the BLS uses. So it distorts the number big time. It pulls it way up because you're going and plugging in the 401ks with people who have 1 to 3 million, and it distorts everything. Example, a millionaire with a 401k, let's say he's got $1 million in the 401k, right? And he adds 100,000 to it, 1,100,000. Okay. The 401k, the average worker, he's got about 40,000. Say he bumps it up 2,000. That's 42,000. That's it. So by grabbing those 401ks with the very, very wealthy and using those to create a number, distorts the number. So again, a 401k, an average person, he's lucky he's got $2,000 increase, not 23, not 30. What are you, nuts? So, and almost nobody is going to get that $23,000, if that was a true number. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So the market, okay, let's say you got a gain in the market, market gain of 10%, say 65,000. That's only $6,500. A market gain of 10% and 65 grand is only $6,500. Where's the 30,000 or the 23,000? Where do you get that number? Because you got to go back and you got to reach in and pull those 401ks. Got $1 million to $2 million. See, the top 1 to the top 10% own most of the 401k wealth in this country. Most of the people, they don't even. What's the number? I think it was, we saw the number the other day. It was almost like 68% of the people with 401ks don't even hardly contribute. Hardly contribute. They can't live. They can't pay their bills. Especially their medical bills. I mean, it's really, that's the biggest problem is all the medical bills. So a top 1 to 1%, okay, who owns all the money in his 401k, he's doing fine. But the top 1%, you know, they own about 34% of all the retirement assets in this country. Isn't that nuts? That's just crazy. So the top 10% own 70% of all the retirement assets. So let's think about it that way. If you take the top 10% and you do the math, they own 70% of all the retirement assets. So when the market goes up, the wealthy sees a huge dollar gain, the average worker sees nothing. He sees nothing. He gets some change. That's it. That's it. All right. So the big thing with the stock market right now is let's see what happens over the weekend. Because it appears that when he made this announcement and he stopped the bombing Thursday night, nobody from Iran agreed to anything. You got Pakistan and all these other people who said, yeah, okay, we got a deal. But Iran's not included in the deal. What are you, nuts? That's the big problem. So again, this thing can blow up over the weekend. Now the other thing is, you got to understand, whoever is negotiating for Iran, they don't have the authority. Whoever signs the agreement doesn't have the authority. Because again, who runs Iran, okay, is the Revolutionary Guard. They're not paying attention to any of this. They want war. These guys have million dollars in money in Dubai. They have these fabulous condominiums, and they don't live in Iran. There's 4 generals that run that guard. There's not one of those generals that's going to agree to anything. That's who you got to get on the line. And here's what I'm afraid of the most. That Trump, just to get this over with, because remember, this is the 39th time he said he has a deal. This has got to be wearing on him, especially gasoline prices. So what's going to happen is that deal, I don't think, there's not going to be any deal, because whoever makes that deal, that paper's worth nothing. Because who controls Iran is the guard. You got to go in and kill them. You got to go in and wipe them out. You're not going to win this war from 30,000 feet. You got to get boots on the ground. So as far as the stock market goes, every time the market goes, I mean, look at last week. In one day, it flipped 4 times. In one day, people were buying the Dow stocks. And then they're saying, oh no, get out of the Dow, get into tech now. Oh no, get out of the tech, get back into Dow. Oh no, get out of Dow, get back into tech. 4 times it flipped back and forth because of this craziness. We got a deal. We got the most beautiful deal in the world. We got a deal like we've never seen. You want to see this deal. But the big problem is the guard, and they're not going to participate. And you know that dust they're talking about? We're not going to get that dust. That's never going to happen. Trump knows that. They're not going to give up that dust. So here's why he's stretching it out. Because at one point he wants people, like he said the other night, and I believe him. He said the other night, the Americans don't have the stomach for me to go and do another epic fury and put boots on the ground. They don't have the stomach. And he's right, they don't. So he knows if he drags this out long enough, he's finally going to make a deal that dust stays in Iran. And what they're going to do is put around that deal, okay, these big, beautiful agreement that they can go in any time and inspect that dust. So this is only hurting the people in the stock market who doesn't understand how the market works, who doesn't follow the institutional money. You've got to follow the institutional money. As long as you know how to go long as well as go short, follow the institutional money. You're making money in a volatile stock like this. You want it volatile. But for the average person in the market, he's going to get crushed. He's going to get crushed because this volume in this rally is too light. Anyways, have a great weekend. Thank you for visiting with me, and let's get together again on Monday, and let's see what happens again on Monday. I mean, we just got to wait and see. But for us, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down or sideways, because we don't follow the market. We follow the institutional money. You should too. We'll show you how to do it here at Phil's Gang. See you on the charts.
Are you nuts?